And this
All right,
that
pilots here should be
landslide,
settling
they
out.
theorized
Would
could
you
have
like another
caused
10-meter
possibly
bump?
the
Yeah.
tsunami in
Copy that.
1918.
10 meters, 1110.
That occurred along the west and north coast of Puerto Rico. This happened in 1918. So yesterday and today's dive is just really surveying and trying to characterize this rock to see if there's any instability.
You can come out. Yeah, thanks.
Along these walls, and to assess if there's any geohazards in this region. So today's dive is a little bit east of yesterday's dive. We're diving just to the north of Vega Baja, along the north coast of Puerto Rico. Right now we are reaching a depth of 3,243 meters. So we're going up pretty rapidly.
Hey, you can come in.
Looks like it could have, and maybe still is, a glass sponge, but it has a lot of debris on the outside.
All right, come out.
Pilots, looks like Cirrus is starting to see over that feature. Permission to tag on another 10 meters.
Yeah.
Copy that.
So far through this mission, we've been seeing a lot of diverse habitats compared to the East Coast. And we were in the South Coast, now the North Coast, and we'll be heading to the West Coast. But we surveyed areas with soft sediment to really shearing walls to these geologically important areas.
It's the line.
And all have brought very unique organisms. Something branching.
Large lone stalk or something.
Yeah. Maybe an old stalk from a sponge. That's what it looks like. The sponge is no longer there.
All right, video. I think it's...
Okay, on the way in, there was something on the left.
Oh, the crinoid?
Yeah.
You can snap it.
Just a crinoid.
Yep, another crinoid. This is a relative. This is an echinoderm, a relative of the sea cucumber and sea urchins. Sea cucumbers and sea urchins. And this is unstalked, so it uses these series, like these finger-like projections to hold onto the rocks. And these arms are used to filter feed, so they're waiting for plankton, these microscopic animals to kind of fall into their arms.
All right.
Okay.
Pilot's clear. Thanks, video. Coming up a little bit here. is this little guy? Small white dot.
Yeah.
Is it on the ground or on a stock? Oh, a small stock. That's what it is.
Looks like a sponge. Yeah, it looks like one of those stock sponges, but there's something, small little shrimp. Yeah. Maybe a little mysid shrimp.
All right. Next video.
So we're still climbing up this wall. I'm actually surprised with all the sediment draped on the rocks. And I was mentioning to, another stock sponge. Yesterday I was mentioning how Puerto Rico is pretty active. We get a number of earthquakes every year, and it mostly comes from this northern region.
Violets, how do you feel about another 10-meter bump? Copy.
Probably just go.
You're settling out, so the last couple meters.
Come in partial. Spin around this one while we get the boat moving here. Thanks, co-pilot. Yeah, the pirouette.
So this is another stock glass sponge. So the reason why this area is so active for earthquakes is that, you know, in the Puerto Rican Trench, there's this boundary between two plates, the Caribbean plate and the North American plate. And the North American plate is moving west while the Caribbean plate is moving east. So a lot of these, the epicenters of these earthquakes occur along this north coast. Seems like, yeah, glass sponges are the most dominant organism.
Snap on this guy. Looks like a stock with a small dot on the top.
It's like a really tiny sponge.
Little baby one.
Yeah.
All right. Pilot's clear. Next video.
So during this exploration, we've been trying to target some of the diverse habitats in the deep sea. These include some of the habitats important to fisheries, like the deep sea snappers. Also habitats that have high biological diversity, like deep sea corals and sponge communities.
You just snap it on orange speck. Maybe I'm just seeing something. Oh, it's on the rock.
It's on the rock.
Come on.
This is a different type of
Variant.
sea cucumber. We've seen the sea cucumber yesterday.
Could frame it up.
Has its tentacles out. It's looking for some food. These are deposit feeders. So they usually feed on detritus or anything that they can find along the seafloor.
All right, video, come on.
We've also been surveying some of these submarine canyons, like we did yesterday in the northwest of Puerto Rico. I mean, also in escarpments, some slope areas. Since these are really poorly known regions throughout the U.S. Caribbean. We've been focusing some of these surveys in marine protected areas.
Like grooves in the rock that fill with like sediment. You can snap on squiggles. Or, I don't know what this trails or something. It is like
That looks like a trail of something. Maybe some type of polychaete, some type of worm.
Huh. Oh, they really dusted the ground there. Pretty light sediment.
And these last couple, yesterday and today, we were observing some of these areas that could be potential geohazards. So areas maybe where landslides could occur, which could cause tsunamis along the north coast of Puerto Rico and along the west coast.
All right, pilots, ready for another 10-meter bump? Copy.
So if you want to see how steep this slope is, you could look at Sirius on live stream 2. That gives you an idea of what we're climbing today. It's a pretty dramatic feature.
Oh yeah. Good spot. Come in if you wanted video. Take more zoom if you got it.
if you were watching the other day when we were on the east coast of Yabucoa in Puerto Rico and Punta Yeguas, we saw hundreds of these sea cucumbers swimming in the water column. And there's a highlight video of this on our website that you can watch. It was pretty cool. Thanks, pilot.
All right, video. Once you're clear with it, I'm clear.
So this expedition in the Caribbean is one of several expeditions that will be occurring from now to 2020.
Directly in front. I don't know
that
if
will
the uppers could
contribute
be
to the Atlantic
swung up at
Seafloor
all
Partnership
to
for
give a larger
Integrated
light pool?
Research and Exploration, also known as the ASPIRE program.
Possibly cut
This
down
program
on
is
the
multi-year, but also
on the hot spots we're getting
multinational, and it's a
close in.
collaborative field program focused on raising the collective knowledge and understanding of the North Atlantic Ocean, which includes the U.S. Caribbean.
Yeah, Copa, if you wanted to adjust the lights, you could a little bit. Do you think it's too hot in the center video? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like down in front of the.
Oh, it's like too hot down here.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of concentrated light low, and not much up higher.
Okay. Up a little bit. Sure.
You can just swing them all the way up, the uppers. Yeah. So that's back, so maybe down then. It's the opposite. There, that looks better. Now do it to the other one. Yeah, I think they were a little off. That one looks like it didn't move though.
Can we just zoom? There's a pile of rocks right to the bottom, pilot. Sorry, right to the bottom right. It looks like there's like these pile of rocks.
Good try. Just be careful because we're on such a steep slope.
Yeah, Roland's going to be in. He may have a better grasp on it.
Yeah, but just let Roland deal with
come
it.
in. A little bit of sediment from my props, but this is what you're talking about, watch sleep?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. So see, these seem a little bit fresher because you can see the carbonate rock.
Sorry, video. I backed away from the wall.
Yeah.
It's pretty light. You can come out.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you can see what a fresh slide looks like.
Yeah.
Is that woodfall right there? Right in the middle of the screen?
Yeah.
Or is this long?
We're approaching it now. You can frame it up. So zoom partial. Possible. I don't see much on it.
No. Looks like there's maybe some crustacean at the
Yeah, you come in.
towards the tip. Looks like a crab. Now this is pretty clean woodfall. We found some would fall off of La Pereguera a couple days ago that had chitons and limpets and a couple squat lobsters, crinoids.
Yeah, how many moves do we have piled up? Are we pretty much settled? That's
You
good
might
for you.
have. Yeah, you're pretty much settled. Yeah,
You
maybe
gotta
like a
come
meter,
out.
a couple meters, but I'd consider it's pretty settled.
I'd be okay with putting another one in, if you would.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, just another 10 meters, 110.
So all this information that we're collecting during this expedition
Going in.
Is going to fill some of these really important knowledge gaps. We don't know much of the region, especially the deep sea habitats, even more so when you're comparing it to the knowledge of the deep sea habitats of the Atlantic. We hope that the information collected during this expedition will support science, other further expeditions, and also some of the management needs in the Caribbean waters surrounding Puerto Rico and the USVIs.
I can show you the world. Might just be the nature of this dive. We can try things, obviously, but I think it's reflective and
Looks like
the
maybe
lower
a
pushes
sponge.
closer to us, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is there that white little dot? It's far off. It's
Yeah.
in that sand. Is that sea star?
I was looking at that too. Video, come in. Is this what you're looking at, watch lead?
Yeah.
Appears to be a lighter. I don't know what that is.
No. Nope, I think it's just a rock.
It's like a rock, yeah. All right, video.
Yeah, I see that dramatic reflections. How do you feel about
Buenas
lowering the
tardes a
lower
todos. Están
swing
mirando.
arms?
Hey, go for it.
Estamos hoy en
Bring
el
way
norte de Vega Baja.
Some trash, looks like. Possible tin can.
Estamos investigando un derrumbe en el fondo de mar.
Yeah.
Es una
I
lata,
like
Are you sure?
basura.
yeah. It's trash.
Y hoy estamos observando las piedras para entender la historia geológica de este área.
And then back.
Empezamos en una
Outward.
profundidad de 3,335 metros y ahora estamos
Kind of sneaking up on you.
en
So you can haul in when
3,197 metros. Ayer estuvimos en el
Copa, you can haul in a little bit
submarino,
too.
un cañón submarino
up
de
there.
Mona.
Get up there.
En este buceo vimos muchas esponjas de vidrio y 3 especies de peces.
looking for sea stars.
Yeah,
We're
we're on sea star
Copy.
hunt.
And Chris Ma wanted us to grab one if we see one.
Yeah, there's not too much like small white things. So every white thing you think it's possibly a sea star, but it looks like
Right.
they're just small
You can
rocks.
snap on the one on the right.
Are they supposed to be small?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the last one we saw.
Be small?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the last one we saw was real small. But you can come out. All right. Copy that. Thank you.
Or they look over here? Co-pilot. Are they horizontal and back?
The lowers don't go that far back, Ron.
Okay.
They pretty much only go straight out
I see.
and in. We can bring them in, but
Okay.
you can turn them off. But
Yeah, we don't want that.
And if you haven't done so, you can
We should start moving
go,
pretty
if
soon,
you've
right?
missed any of these days
Yeah,
during this
last move was only
expedition,
10
you
meters
can
though.
visit
And
the
it looks like
website.
slope is flattening out.
And there are daily updates.
If you're up for it, I can put in
mission logs.
20 meter move.
Also some
I think
really
so.
cool highlight
Copy that.
videos.
So you're looking at
Very
how's
cool.
115.
We have a very
Yeah.
talented
Perfect.
team of
Maybe take the upper
videographers
bars and
20
rotate
meters,
them
115
that
come up.
produce these highlight videos.
up.
We also have linked for education materials, and this education materials can be found in Spanish also.
It may only go backwards and not maybe need to be. Large.
Yeah, so up is when they're inboard. So
Yeah.
outboard is just opposite.
Actually, can we snap
So
zoom in
then
on that
down
sea
is
cucumber?
up.
I think that might be
Bottom right, off screen.
it's right below. Sorry.
Oh, got it.
It's-
Coming. Acquiring now.
I think it's a little bit different from. Yeah, the sky looks much
Laser's clear.
Thanks, Kapat. It looks fuzzy.
fuzzy. Yeah, I think it's just covered in. It's using like the looks like the pteropod shells as covering. It's interesting. Whoa! Sea cucumber landslide. Ah.
They move quick.
Snowboarding or sandboarding. Sea cucumber. Okay, that's good. Thank you.
All right, video can come wide.
That angle, we got no flares.
Yeah. Play angle down. Are we full wide? I think I'm just close to the rock.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
So when you guys saw that sea star, what kind of size is it relative to the lasers?
Like 5 centimeters diameter,
Okay,
like small.
it's like that thing to the right of lasers.
Yeah, something like that size. You can snap it if you wanted.
Nope.
I think we're getting faked out.
Yep. We're looking too hard.
Yeah. It was very reflective, very white.
Actually, if this is a good time, would you guys like to do an introduction? I don't think
Yeah.
you've introduced
Be a
yourself
good
in the
time.
front room.
Yeah, up in the row, sitting pilot is Levi Unuma.
Sitting nav is Sean Kennison.
And co-pilot is Tony.
And on the far right is Roland Bryan in the corner doing video.
And in the back row, in the video clipping chair, I'm Emily Narrow.
And we're all with the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration, partnered with NOAA. Coming up.
Nav, this is Watchlead. What are we looking like for round numbers in the off-bottom time today?
Seems to be an out-of-place white speck upper left laser. Probably a micro sponge.
Can snap it if you want. little parasite village.
Okay,
Gastropods.
great, thanks.
Yeah.
Looks very much like this snail we saw the other day. Yesterday, in fact. Thanks, pilot.
Nice video. Alright. Let's take a peek to port and see what it looks like. Could Sirius be focused any different, Roland, or is that about right? D2 looks a little fuzzy.
You're talking about the ROV or Sirius?
Sirius. I think it looks better.
There's very minor change.
Okay. Alright, take a peek to starboard. Keeping an eye on my swing arms because they are fully deployed here.
That'd be a good view if you continue to rotate right for Sirius.
Yeah. Alright, continue up.
For everyone on shore, we're just in the middle of a lunch break here on the ship. We'll be changing out folks in the back row as well as in the front row over the next little while. But in the meanwhile, we're at a depth of 3,183 meters. We're diving today
Might try to
on
get up here with a
a
sponge.
suspected
Copy. You want to do a
submarine
partial?
landslide area that has been identified in multi-bathymetry in collaboration with
Small
our
coral
shoreside
at the base.
geology
Copy
team.
that. Approaching.
We're due north of the island of Puerto Rico, north of part of the island near Vega Baja, in the vicinity of the Puerto Rico Trench. Take a closer look at this glass sponge. Thanks, navigator. So on this rock here, there's at least one euplectillid sponge, or sorry, not euplectillid, a glass sponge. This glass sponge is growing on a stalk. Some glass sponges grow on stalks while others are attached to the substrate pretty firmly. We've seen both types on this dive today. And in the lower right, just off the base, there's a type of bryozoan.
Push in as you center up on the bryozoan.
Alright, go ahead. See what you're talking about.
Take a quick closer look at that, and then keep moving up slope. Yeah, looks like a bryozoan.
Okay.
This rock looks pretty cemented into the hillside, so I don't think that's going to be a collection target. It's pretty big too. But we were always looking for possible bryozoans to collect because we've seen a number in this area and they're very poorly understood. We don't know certain information like how many species there are, or if any of these species we're looking at could be new. Even though bryozoans might look like corals or sponges at a distance. Some of their smaller structures are not visible using our cameras. They belong to an
Nice
entirely
blind on
different
that
group.
sponge.
Nice. There's snap on fish if you wanted.
It's like some kind of,
Go in.
no idea. Maybe a small shrimp. Sinking pretty
Let it go.
rapidly.
All right.
We've been seeing a fair amount of mid-water organisms, especially down near the start of our dive today, that have been drifting down this slope. Yesterday we completed our first series of mid-water transects
Bright
to
object
explore
left
the
of
tectonic
screen.
community in this vicinity on the north
Lower,
coast of Puerto Rico.
No, left, center. On the rock.
Oh, okay. I think we've seen that guy a couple times.
We suspect we'll be doing at least one more mid-water portion of our dives in the coming week.
I'll take a peek starboard and see what we got. All right. Take a peek to port, and then I'll go up.
Pretty cool terrain.
Yeah, very cool. Geology.
Looks pretty quiet, according to our geologists on shore. There's not a lot of evidence of failures in the rock or slumps or anything that would immediately
Trash.
indicate.
Come in, snap it.
What is that?
Possible Red Bull.
Red Bull.
All right, come on.
There we go. That looks pretty recent.
Pass should be settled. Have another 10 meters. Still some sonar ahead.
Yeah.
All right, copy. I'll keep going. 115 still looks pretty good.
Looks very steep coming up here.
Might have enough tether to get some of it.
The branching object right of lasers. Very heavily
Between
covered in
yesterday and today, we're doing a series of geology-oriented dives
Yeah,
on the
just
north
dust.
side of the island of Puerto Rico.
Go in if you wanted. Is this what you're talking about? Right
Yep.
there? I think it's rock staining, slightly different color, discoloration.
Yep. Strands on it.
There might have been some, discoloration on the rock. Agreed.
All right, come up.
Tilt back into the light pool.
Down here.
Yep.
Yesterday we were observing the western wall of the Mona Canyon, which also suspected to be a type of landslide prone area. And we were seeing very significant outcroppings that might suggest that rock had recently fallen away in
Copy that.
geological
I'll kind
time.
of just go straight up rather than out any further. But yeah, I'm pulling at the end of my leash.
A lot of what we're looking at, this dark rocky surface, is actually crusts of
another
iron
rotate
manganese
left.
I was about to hand it
that
off, but I
have
might, before we do, tag in another 10 meters.
precipitated out
Just to
of the
have
water
an extra-
column onto
Some
the rocks here.
ground to run on.
But wherever we
Cirrus pretty
see
much looks well above
lighter
it.
colored
Seen
rocks
right
that
over
might
it.
indicate fresher surfaces that have been exposed to seawater for less time.
Yeah, so they only get 20 meters and they'll be kind of safe.
Yeah, really see the slope. Give you a feel for how steep it is.
This actually has been our deepest dive of the expedition so far. We started at about 3,300 meters. And we're planning on continuing up through about 2,800 meters by the end of our bottom time today. We were remarking yesterday that some of these vertical wall features, as well as bouldery type environments, are great habitat for deep water corals and sponges because they provide a lot of topographically induced flows or current speeds that are accelerated around the rock that is very bumpy or has a lot of texture to it. This type of currents, or these types of currents, also have a tendency to increase food supply delivered to suspension and filter feeding organisms like corals and sponges. On this particular dive, we aren't seeing as much bouldery outcrops, but this seems like it could be ideal for corals and sponges. However, we are not seeing very many at this point because we are likely too deep for many species. But there are species known to occur at these depths of corals and sponges, some of which we've seen so far. But this rock surface doesn't indicate as such.
Current's not too strong here, is it?
Oh, I don't feel any current basically.
It's a scientific question for you. Science.
Yep.
Could the lack of corals also be correlated to the strength of the current flow in the area? Or is that a major factor?
That is possible. Yeah, we were talking about topographically induced flows, and it is possible that this area could have lower flow conditions. And we are on the north side of the island, which is not. There's not necessarily as much input from organic material near the coastline. It's more exposed to the open ocean, which typically yields lower particulate matter in the water column. Maybe a type of fishing line. It's too thin to be cable or anything like that. Also a bunch of pteropod shells, pteropods and sponge debris. So it's absolutely possible that corals could be found here, but yes, flow conditions are something that could be limiting their distribution in this area. More so than flow conditions at any specific depth, it usually is the depth itself. that can be limiting. The deeper we go in the water column and in the benthos, typically the lower quality food we find. And quality is usually based on how much organic carbon material is in the particular organic matter in the form of marine snow. A lot of the organic material, that corals, sponges, pretty much anything that feeds on organic material at these depths, almost all of that is created near the surface or in the surfaced ocean in the top maybe 200 meters typically. And as dead and decaying material sinks down, it clumps together, forming larger and larger particles. Those particles then sink to the bottom and are consumed by suspension feeders and filter feeders, as well as any organisms that may be feeding directly on the bottom, like the sea cucumbers. But during its long transit from 200 meters all the way down to these depths, 3,000 meters, it's continuously being decayed and decomposed by bacteria.
Nav. Got you loud and clear. I was told we had about 5 minutes today of swing.
Pilots, be aware I'm seeing more of that line all over the seafloor.
Go ahead and zoom in. Let me take a look at it. Is this what you're talking about right in front of us?
There and on the right.
Yeah, zoom in further. Copy that, yeah.
It's all over this rock and over around to the right.
Okay.
See it up top?
Okay. So, co-pilot, yeah, I see right there too. Video's made us aware that there's quite a bit of line in the water here. You can see to the right here. So, help me keep an eye out for that kind of thing.
It's all over that rock ahead of us.
So, we're swinging 20 meters? Full 57, okay. So we'll have a good 5 minutes of swing, I think, here. So we've got at least 10 meters more to go. Yeah, okay. Good, then I'm not going to worry about a move for a little bit.
There looks to be a shadow of something in the upper left corner. Yeah.
Copy that. Hey, Watch, did you say you saw something?
Yeah, I was looking at a shadow in the upper left corner behind the rock, and I was wondering if that was the rock itself or something above it. I know I noticed some whiter texture in Sirius directly above us.
Okay, in Sirius to the left of me, huh?
I think it's the shape of the rock, actually, but...
Okay, if you see it, I'll turn that way and kind of go up as well, because I'm not seeing the same thing. Is it? It's not this one, is it?
Yeah, it was the shadow behind that rock, but I was
okay.
looking on Sirius. There looks to be a bunch of white spots on the wall coming up.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We can definitely make our way up there.
I was wondering if they were big enough to cast a shadow, but I think...
Copy that.
Fish upper left.
Are we painting fish today, watch leads as well?
Yeah, it kind of just snap zooms on the fishes.
Okay.
You know, a quick scan, and if there are any parasites, we can take a closer look, but I think just snap zooms are sufficient for most fishes.
Okay. Let's come in video. Not seeing any parasites. Oh. Thanks, video. Keep an eye on my swing arms because they're pretty far out right now, too.
Yeah, I'm watching them.
Thanks. And watch leads, what's the rock sampling situation?
We were just discussing that, thanks.
Okay.
So yeah, we're generally interested in a rock in this vicinity, but you know, only for the loose stuff, and everything looks really deceptive here, so we'll leave it up to your
Looks like the one
judgment.
next to the rock left
Okay.
is loose.
So would it be more of a flat, broken one that we're looking for, or a rounded one?
Yeah, we're looking for pretty much any rock, at least 10 centimeters in size or slightly bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Nothing about dimensions, but the size is
I'm not
more
sure if
important.
the pile to the right, there's some, looks like maybe some loose rocks to the right of the screen.
oh, okay. I can check that. There also might be some right down here, but I'm not sure
Okay.
if these are big enough or the right shape. And I also can't tell if they're not.
Right now, when was that last move finished?
59.
What do you think,
So
Nav?
you
Do you
should
think these
be-
are buried?
Yeah, I think I just stopped.
I think the
But it's
sediment
good,
is there.
good to give us a little reset, because we don't know how many other moves came before it.
No, I agree.
I mean, I guess I can look back on the log more carefully.
Hey, Nav, what do you
Yeah.
think about this ride? Does it look real sedimented?
You could try bumping them with your toe. I think that's part of the ground, personally.
Come on, Apathy. I'm going to do exactly that just to see.
Looks like you may have a little pile to your starboard, if that doesn't work.
Co-pilot, I believe we're pretty much stopped if you want to turn to port while he looks for rocks.
Copy that.
And then we'll center back up with the slope before the next move.
Copy that.
Copy that, bridge.
Very stuck. Oh, actually, that one just moved a bit into there.
The one on your left toe?
On my right toe.
Uh,
But it might just be a bunch of mud
so what about that one center that's coming to your left skid now?
that's coming to my left skid. Oh,
Just
this
like
one.
a
Yeah, let me
foot
check
from
it
your
out.
left skid. Yeah. Almost.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
loose.
Yeah,
Is it a rock or is it mud?
it's a good question. Let's see if they want it.
So watch these. This one's loose. We can take a look and make sure it's actually rock. Of course, I can also squeeze test it.
Yeah, I think we want a hard rock, so mud won't be acceptable in this case. But
Let's do a quick. Well, never mind.
it looked
Looked
pretty.
pretty hard to me.
That was a good rock.
It
Fell
looked
apart.
pretty rocky.
Guess that's why they call it a landslide.
Careful, pilot. You might cause a landslide further downslope.
Oh, yeah, gotta be careful up here.
The black one just above the lasers now.
That's yeah. I was taking a look at that one too.
The one you were poking at earlier that fell only landed maybe 3 feet or so beneath you.
Yeah.
You could probably drop down and grab it.
Where are the fishes in your HD2 screen coming down?
Okay. That one's solid.
So the ones that have looked dark and solid are attached to the slope
Yeah.
seams.
Okay.
And the loose ones are pale and crumbly.
Okay. Yeah, because those might be loose, but those also look very mud-like. But
Actually, there's one that looks right. Do you see the white scarp? Right below it,
to the right,
to the left.
to the left, to the left.
It looks like maybe that one is loose. I'm not sure if it's...
by over on the edge of the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
I think she said
It's-
just
no,
above
right-
the white star,
right-
just below the lasers now.
Yeah, right to the left of the lasers.
Yeah.
I think it came from that scar that's above the lasers.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
That the lasers are on?
It's right above the lasers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
one
right
of those.
here. Okay, yeah. I'll do a quick.
I'm betting that whitish stuff is consolidated mud and squishable.
Tyler, what do you think about bringing your swing arm lowers up a bit?
Yeah, I would like that. Maybe up to a little past 45.
Copy that. Swing arm.
Make sure they're outboard though.
Does that help, co-pilot? You zoomed in?
That doesn't really help me there. Video. Thanks.
So you're going to try to poke this one with the jaws?
Well, it's not moving with the toe.
Yeah. Might as well. Then if it's solid, we can give up here and move on probably.
Okay. Which one? You think I should poke one?
Yeah.
All of these?
Alright, you're around 45 on your swing arms.
The one in front of me or the one I was trying to hit?
Oh. I meant there's one above the lasers and one to the left of the lasers.
Yeah, I'll try those.
Yeah.
You are spun up, ready
Great.
to go.
Perfect. Watch it. We're just going to do a quick poke test.
Okay, sounds good.
This is a good opportunity since the ship stopped.
Yeah, I've definitely stopped moving. And do we have any collections yet?
No collections.
Actually, can you bring up my mini? I can go ahead and... tilt down.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
take
give it a
control of your
little
mini.
bit. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, there you go.
It looks like the one not touching the lasers might have moved a little if you get the tip of your jaw under it and just kind of try lifting a little. I thought I saw a little, but never mind. No, it was optical illusion.
I think this one's stuck too.
So these ones are moving D2.
Yep. 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 Okay. We'll move on and look up slope.
We're up and down. Hydraulics are off.
Thank you.
I'm gonna return your mini looking up again.
Actually, keep it on my toes right now, if you would.
Keeping on toes.
Thank you. You can go a little bit out though. It's more for perching.
That
Yeah, it's fine.
satisfactory.
All right, watch these. Looks like there was not our ideal place for.
You have our full confidence in finding a rock sometime.
We will find you one.
So the last heading was 115, about 20 degrees to starboard. Could try that, see if the slope centers up in sonar.
Copy that. Do you want me to swing the face that way?
Yeah, you
Pilot, you coming over to
you can
center?
start. Yep.
Alright, coming over. Heading towards 115.
Yep. And you may come up just a little bit. when I
Yep.
start getting over
I'm
there.
coming. Gonna look down.